Hello and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Zara Fagan, author of Minimalist Homeschooling and the host of Simple is the New Smart, and I'm coming here today to give you a quick Catholic review of Journey to Bethlehem, the movie. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a homeschooling mother of 4, and my children right now range from a dual enrollment high schooler all the way down to 2nd grade, and we have been homeschooling since the beginning. So today, from a Catholic perspective, I wanted to talk about this new movie, Journey to Bethlehem. And first of all, I love that the movie brings to the big screen probably the most important story ever told in all of history, or you could argue the second most important story, but this one at least is the prelude for that important story. So I will say, though, that the producers of Journey to Bethlehem did for the nativity story what Disney does for most fairy tales, which is they turned it into a lot of singing, a lot of dancing. In this case, the heroine, Mary, is not a princess. She's of humble origins, but nonetheless, she has that sort of headstrong and obstinate character that is so common in our princess stories done by Disney. And I found that kind of contrary to what we are taught as Catholics about Mary being obedient and being pure. There were some opportunities for details that were omitted. For example, when Gabriel visits Mary, she doesn't outright accept God's will, which of course is a huge part of the Annunciation for Mary in the Catholic faith. So they just left that out. The Magi are introduced very early on in the story. They are an integral part leading up to Jesus's birth, whereas, of course, in the Bible, they're not introduced until after Jesus is born. So a lot of the timing is changed. The producers say that they took creative license with the movie. They outright admit it. Overall, the message is true. There was a chosen woman with a chosen spouse of humble origins, and they together raised and gave birth to the Savior and Redeemer of the world. And in the meantime, the story is incredibly entertaining. My kids very much enjoyed it. It doesn't take a lot to read the biblical nativity story, right? You have the first 2 chapters of Luke, the first 2 chapters of Matthew. That covers a lot, if not most or all, of our nativity story. Excuse me. So in our family, my kids are very familiar with the actual biblical nativity story. They kind of enjoyed picking out some differences. Joseph's dream, for example, he only has one dream in the movie. It happens early on in the movie. However, it's more like his second dream, right? So my kids were fine with picking out those inconsistencies and comparing and contrasting. I recommend, though, that if you are looking for something that is factually, on a detailed level, true to the original nativity story, that maybe you want to preview this movie for yourself beforehand. They do use the term Immaculate Conception, I believe incorrectly, in one of the songs. Common misconception is that Immaculate Conception refers to Mary getting pregnant while she's a virgin. In reality, that refers to us as Catholics. That's referring to her being born without sin, which is ultimately why she is chosen to be the mother of the Savior of the world. So, that's kind of frustrating as a Catholic perspective to hear the term Immaculate Conception being used wrong. The only other thing I want to say is that I love that they made this a major immersion picture. I loved how many people are going to see it. I loved going to see it with my kids. They really enjoyed it. I personally had no problem with the inconsistencies because my children could talk about it. So if you haven't yet taken the opportunity to actually read from the Bible, the actual nativity story, the 2 versions of it, do it. It's so quick. It's so powerful. And then go see the movie, or vice versa. And with that, I'm wishing you all the simple things. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Bye, guys.